Hey everyone, welcome to Doc Day at Skydio HQ, and thank you for joining us. I'm Adam Bry, CEO of Skydio, and we're here today to share the work that we're doing on fully autonomous and remotely operated drones with Skydio Dock and Remote Ops. Drones are already having transformative impact in a wide range of industries by enabling us to put sensors in important places where it would be dangerous or impossible to get human eyes. But drones today still need a pilot on the ground to fly them, and a pilot can only fly one drone in one place at one time. Breaking the one-to-one dependence between the pilot and the drone and enabling drones to do work on their own is an extremely powerful concept. In fact, it's the future of the industry for most applications. Picture a world where drones exist as a networked service in which every piece of infrastructure, job sites, bridges, rail yards, warehouses, power plants, solar farms, substations, and more can proactively and automatically be monitored and inspected by a drone on a regular schedule. This is a world where first responders can get eyes on scene in seconds rather than minutes, providing life-saving information, helping to keep our community safer. This is the world we're here to talk about today. We're incredibly excited to share our progress on Skydio Dock and invite you to work with us in making this concept a reality for your organization. The starting point for Skydio's solution is the most advanced autonomous drone in the world. Skydio drones sense and understand their environments, predict into the future, and make intelligent decisions. They come with the skills of an expert pilot built in. That kind of autonomy is unique, and it is really a prerequisite for having a drone you can trust to fly itself remotely, especially in challenging or GPS-denied environments. We built Dock as the perfect, durable, network-connected bay to house Skydio drones and enable a variety of use cases. Skydio Remote Ops software is the connective tissue and brain that brings it all together and enables the operator to fly the drone remotely or set up missions to run on a fixed schedule or based on environmental triggers. Remote Ops syncs the data captured by the Dock drone to the cloud, so it's ready for managers to make decisions immediately. Drones today are mostly used outdoors, and other Dock solutions have always assumed outdoor use. While Skydio drones work beautifully outdoors, they are the best in the world for flying indoors, where there are lots of obstacles and no GPS. Our work with customers over the last 3 years has shown us the opportunity to deploy Dock drones in secure, climate-controlled environments, like warehouses and retail locations. That's why we created Skydio Dock Lite. Skydio Dock is already the smallest, lightest docking station on the market, but Dock Lite rewrites what's possible. Dock Lite delivers the power of Dock and Remote Ops into a tiny, cloud-connected footprint. Its simple form factor means that you can put a drone anywhere it would be useful, not just anywhere you can fit a dock. Two solutions: Skydio Dock Lite for indoor, climate-controlled environments, and Skydio Dock for hot, cold, rain, snow, and everything in between. We've been prototyping our Dock hardware and software for years, working closely with industry leaders across transportation, construction, utilities, and more to understand their needs and iterating to get the complete solution right. I'm excited for them to share their stories now.
Dock-based drones and remote operations at Southern are pretty exciting because in the past, the only way that we could re-energize something after it's gone out due to an event on our power system is that we would have to roll a truck or a human out there, investigate and determine the cause of that event. Now we can use the dock to inspect power lines, inspect substations, post-event, and then potentially get customers back on faster because we're able to determine that it was either a temporary outage or we know exactly what the problem is and are able to dispatch the correct crews and the correct maybe engineers and material out there.
We have inspectors that have to measure all this stuff out here. That's how we pay for these contracts. We field measure, we field verify all these items that our contractors are installing. We can start to do that in an automated fashion using change detection and AI. That frees up our inspectors to do a lot of other things that they should be doing or they need to be doing other than physically measuring things. And it helps us be more efficient.
The value we see working with customers is twofold. One is reactive, when there is, let's say, a safety incident, being able to operate it remotely in real time and actually capture the data and provide assistance. The other one is scheduled operations. Scheduled operations could be in a certain frequency. We can have the drone take off and fly, capture the data. It could be once a day, it could be a couple times a day, and having those are really beneficial to operations.
Being able to fly and document progress over time is really key, and being able to do that in an autonomous fashion that is repeatable over and over and over again is absolutely huge, because you're going to be able to compare, those changes that occur over time.
今現場で求められているのは生産性の向上なんですけれども、現場の役職員も移動に非常に時間かかっていて、そこが生産性を落としているという側面があります。30分以上往復にですね、時間かかったりするケースもありますので、そういった意味では非常にですね、このスカイディオとドックの組み合わせが与える影響というのは大きいんじゃないかなというふうに思います。
We go to a browser and we schedule a flight. We define a path, and based on that scheduled time and the path, Skydio actually autonomously performs the flight. In this location, we actually have pipes. It takes an image that is integrated with Oracle's platform. Then it is processed by vision services. The processing actually enables us to count the pipes. The number actually goes into our ERP system for inventory management. So in this way, we're actually providing a full workflow from beginning to the end.
We've actually obtained beyond visual line of sight waivers as a start to start working our way towards truly remote, autonomous-based dock operations.
I hope to have one of these systems out on a lot of these major project sites. I can see a case use for potentially hundreds of these things.
The autonomous aerial robot has created a new aviation space, a new space that until this technology worked, it wasn't around. And I really think that we're going to see lives saved. We're going to see your power come back on faster. We're going to see, economic benefits that are beyond safety and utilities.
We know from our customers that the ideal product is incredibly simple. The thing needs to just work. Get the data you need and make it immediately actionable and useful. But solving this problem is extremely complex under the hood. While the rest of the industry approaches dock drones like a hardware problem, we are approaching it as a software solution that's autonomous and connected at the core. For dock drones to really work, you need a drone that can be trusted to sense its environment and fly itself. There aren't too many companies making those. And on top of that, it requires all of the hardware and software, from the drone to the dock to the cloud, to work seamlessly together to deliver a reliable system. The drone industry is no stranger to appealing concepts that are extremely difficult to bring to life. When we started Skydio in 2014, there were dozens of other startups working on drones that tried to follow and film moving subjects. Existing drone companies tried to bolt these features onto their manual drones. But the other startups died, and the incumbents didn't deliver. Today, nothing else on the market holds a candle to what Skydio drones can do. We've delivered tens of thousands of drones that generate mind-blowing footage for our customers every day. The basic reason that Skydio stands alone is that autonomy is not a feature, it's an architecture. The same technology foundation that enables our drones to fly themselves filming moving subjects enables them to fly themselves remotely from dock. These are cutting-edge aerospace devices with sensing, compute, and software comparable to a self-driving car in a package that weighs a few pounds. We haven't solved everything, but we continue to set the state-of-the-art in autonomous flight with our products. Now you'll hear from a few members of our world-class team at Skydio who are making dock and remote ops a reality for our customers.
Hi, my name is Yi-Shan Wu. I'm a senior manager here at Skydio for product design engineering. Skydio dock needs to be as small and light as possible. In order for our customers to be able to confidently deploy Dock in the field, we had to factor in high winds, extreme heat and cold, pouring rain, and other environmental factors. We've conducted rigorous testing to ensure that Dock can operate in temperatures as low as -4 degrees Fahrenheit and up to 109 degrees Fahrenheit, and withstand standby temperatures as low as -40 degrees up to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Additionally, Dock's IP56 rating means it can resist heavy precipitation or high winds in dusty areas. One of the unique features of Skydio Dock that makes it even more resilient to the elements is the dual door design. We open up the main door for our drone to extend into position and close the door during takeoff or landing to minimize dirt, dust, and moisture from getting kicked up or blown into the dock. The extending arm design is unique. It minimizes prop wash from the drone and keeps the footprint of Skydio Dock as small as possible. This design has been tested and validated over the course of thousands of test flights per day, totaling more than 120,000 flights and counting. Multiple iterations of Skydio Dock were prototyped to optimize dock functionality and easy serviceability of replaceable components. Every detail had an incredible amount of planning and testing go into it. Take the LED lighting, for example. We wanted the roof to light up so the drone could see it and land at night, while the front indicator lights work in tandem with the front camera for drone propeller inspection before takeoff. Building docks is clearly much more complicated than just a box for drones to land in. We analyze a wide range of various customer applications while aiming to find every edge case scenario to ensure the highest level of safety and functionality. Most importantly, it's designed and tested so you can trust Skydio Dock to get the job done, mission after mission after mission.
The promise of Dock drones is to run repeated missions that capture the data you need every time. You need to trust that the drone will complete the job and make it home. Skydio's autonomy is the best solution in the world to this problem. Bridges, warehouses, construction sites, substations, they're all complex environments where GPS simply doesn't cut it. We created a foundational new technology called the Skydio Visual Positioning System, which uses the latest in AI and computer vision to deliver precise navigation and data capture. With VPS, the drone remembers a site it has flown before and generates a map of it that can then be used to place itself within centimeters, even in tricky indoor environments. So you end up getting high precision data sets from repeated flights. Like this. It also means that the drone can autonomously return to the dock, even finding a new path through complex environments. Skydio drones are the only solution that is versatile enough to capture both up-close and far-away data, indoors and outdoors. We test complex automated missions 24/7 and closely monitor performance metrics to ensure that our customers can focus on the decision quality data their drones generate, not turning into expert drone pilots.
Hi, I'm Vincent Lecrubier, and I work on autonomous missions at Skydio. In many cases, flying a drone is not your end goal. What you really care about is high-quality data to drive your business. Track warehouse inventory, monitor construction progress, patrol a site or inspect equipment, to name a few examples. Skydio Autonomous Mission got you covered. Let's build and run a sample mission. Using the Map Mission Planner, I can build a mission in seconds. I want to keep track of construction project on the garage rooftop. So I'm going to add 4 waypoints on top of that garage rooftop. Zooming in, we see those 4 waypoints. I can adjust them. I will adjust the altitude of this one a little bit. I can now run my mission on demand in a single click. The drone will take off and follow my mission precisely. I can always take manual control of the drone in teleop if desired. I'm now flying manually in teleop. If I need more precision, I can use the Live Mission Planner. It allows me to edit my mission in teleop, waypoint per waypoint. Let's edit my first waypoint here. And make sure we take a photo here. In this case, I want more precision to go see what's inside the doghouse. So I will add a waypoint at the entrance. Here we go. I will use reduced obstacle avoidance to go inside and frame a precise small object. Let's take this one. Up. Let's see what they have stored in there. I will capture a photo in my mission. There we go. Let's now get out of here. The drone is now landing automatically in the dock. Once landed, the drone will automatically upload all the data to Skydio Cloud: waypoints, trajectory, media, photos and videos. This mission is now ready to be repeated. Let's make it run every weekday at 9 a.m., midday and 4 p.m. The mission scheduler is the easiest tool to scale drone operation without requiring human intervention. The mission has now run several times fully autonomously. I can have a look at the results of a run, viewing photos and videos. Selecting other mission run allows me to time travel and keep tracks of changes on my site.
Flight testing for the Skydio dock focuses on the full end-to-end reliability of the system. Our team is focused on testing and analysis of as many customer situations as possible because ensuring safety is the highest priority. We use endurance rigs, which run constantly throughout the day, logging flight after flight. Repetitive flights such as this allow us to ensure that the dock is able to perform multiple missions a day and thousands of missions over its lifetime. Our wind wall allows us to test launching and landing in the kinds of weather conditions customers need to be able to trust their docks in. We can test in winds up to 40 miles per hour. This type of feedback loop allows us to make hardware and software advancements, which minimize mission downtime. For complex indoor missions, we developed an entire dock testing warehouse. This warehouse allows us to simulate indoor missions, fly through narrow corridors and up staircases, and then test the Skydio drone's ability to autonomously return to dock. We also simulate long-range outdoor scanning missions that stress accuracy of flight path and reliability in multiple environmental conditions to further push the envelope. Our goal is to find every edge case scenario so that you can focus on flying safely with a system confidence to complete your mission objective. To do that, you need to be able to trust your dock to get the job done.
Our world-class regulatory team can help you secure the approvals you need to operate dock drones with ease and at scale. Aviation regulations here in the US and in most countries require that drones be operated within the visual line of sight of a pilot. That's called VLOS. But remote operations are conducted inherently beyond the visual line of sight of a pilot. That's called BVLOS. The waiver approval process is specialized work. It involves preparing documents that detail your organization, your operation, the technology you're using, and how you will ensure the safety of people on the ground and other aircraft in the sky. The Skydio regulatory team are experts in this process, and we have an unparalleled track record of writing successful waivers for our customers. We're ahead of the game. In 2021, BNSF Railway was granted the first nationwide approval to operate dock drones. BNSF can fly Skydio dock drones over more than 80% of its rail network. That's more than 20,000 miles of track in 32 states. It's the most advanced waiver in the US, and it's just the beginning. You can trust us to help your vision take flight. In the same way that Skydio drones make flying easier than ever, our regulatory services make drone program management easier than ever. If you choose to partner with us, we can handle the regulatory work so you can focus on your mission.
Hi, I'm Ryan Redding, and I lead software development here at Skydio. Everything you've just seen is available now in limited quantities through our early access program. And we are rapidly improving performance and adding functionality based on feedback from our early access partners. Our top priority is delivering a product that is reliable, safe, and secure. But our vision is to bring to life the power of Skydio autonomy in one seamless and scalable solution with Skydio Dock and Remote Ops. What you see now is just the beginning. In the near future, you'll be able to build rich 3D maps of indoor and outdoor spaces with autonomous mapping missions, conduct repeated infrastructure inspections with integrated 3D scanning, and trigger smart security patrols with integrated subject detection and alerting. We also know that the system isn't providing full value until the data and processes are integrated with your business workflows. To that end, we are building Skydio Remote Ops on top of cloud-based APIs that allow seamless integration with the software systems that are already critical to your business. This gives developers the power to create integrations on top of the Skydio Remote Ops stack quickly and easily. Through the combination of Skydio autonomy and cloud-based software, useful data and insights can quickly get to the people that need them without the complexity of manually operating a drone. Dock and Remote Ops is a transformative technology, but can't truly reach its full potential without you and your feedback. We are partnering with leaders across industries to understand concrete problems and challenges, bring those insights into our development process, and jointly deliver creative and valuable solutions. The foundations we have built with Skydio Autonomy enable us to deliver new, smart capabilities faster and with higher quality than anyone else. Through close collaboration, we can solve your hardest problems and deliver immense value in a fraction of the time. We are just getting started on this vision, and we look forward to building that future with you.
Autonomous drones, docks, and remote ops will unlock massive value for drone applications, indoors and out. For organizations with the right use case, we work together to ensure your program can expand to include these extraordinary capabilities. Please reach us at skydio.com or speak to your Skydio representative to see if your environment is right for our early access program. Thank you so much for your time today. We're excited to keep building this future together.
In the past, we would have to roll a truck or a human out there.
安全巡視といっているのは、日々安全当番が現場の中を回って不安全な場所がないかというのを確認する。でこれを、人が回るのではなくて、スカイディ。
Aerial robot has created a new aviation space, a new space that until this technology worked, it wasn't around.
メリットだなというふうに考えている。
All right. Well, I hope everyone is excited about autonomous dock drones as we are. We're really excited to have the opportunity to answer your questions here today. And to help us do that, we've got Ryan, who leads software development here at Skydio, and we've also got Alden, who leads customer success. So his team's already in the field working with customers on the solutions that you're seeing here today. And with that, we'll just get into it. Let's see. How do I join the early access program? How do I know if I'm qualified to be an early access partner? Since you're already doing this with customers, I think it'd be great to hear from you on this one, Alden.
Sure. So first of all, if you're already a Skydio customer, thank you. Reach out to your sales rep or your account team and we'll get you into the early access program. If you're not, go to skydio.com/doc and we'll start engaging with you there. At the end of the day, our goal is to make you successful. And so the reason we have this early access program is to understand the nuances of the problem you're trying to solve, the environments you're trying to deploy in, and the specific challenges that impact how you would actually take this to market. And so together with the full team of solutions engineers, the broad engineering team, and the CS team, they will work together to understand your use case and make sure that you're going to be a fit for the level of technology that we have at this given point, and then move forward from there.
Great. When will these Skydio solutions be available internationally? A lot of international folks on the call, a lot of good questions about this. Ryan, you want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we saw a lot of questions about this, a lot of interest internationally. We're currently going to be focused on our US and Japan markets, where we have our current customers and our current business. We don't have any current plans to expand into other regions at this point, but we are very interested in talking to you if you have interesting use cases, if you see a compelling need for the dock, and see really interesting and viable use cases that you think would be something good for us to dive into together.
Yeah, so I would say if you're in another market that we're not currently serving, we'd still love to hear from you. And if you reach out to us, we can track that interest and we can get back in touch with you when we're ready to expand to your region. Once I'm in the early access program, what is the crawl, walk, run process to build my dock drone program for operators? Is there a training program? Another great one for you, Alden.
Yeah, so I love crawl, walk, run. In my previous life, deploying drones, this is an integral part of getting any organization to adopt new technology. So as I mentioned before, the entire Skydio team is behind you as a customer trying to make these early access programs successful. I think at a tactical level, though, it's important to understand there's always a couple things that we have to do, right? So the first thing is, from a technological perspective, we have to go prove that we're going to solve your solution in a small way. So usually we take 1 or 2 sites, 1 or 2 docks, and we're out there trying to make sure that we can deliver the data you need, the way you need it, inside of the constraints you have, understanding connectivity, all those things. Once that happens, you then can take that back to your business as a leader and start to work on the organization so that they see the value, but you can start to push through that organizational inertia and get people excited about the program and start to expand to, let's say, a dozen or something like that sites. And from there, you can really reach scale. But the devil is always in the details. And each step that you take, you're going to find with us helping you new things that we need to overcome together in order to make things happen hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of times a year. And that's the stuff that we love to do. We're really excited about it. And that's why the whole team is here to support. From the training perspective, yes, we will have training. We want to be able to train direct operators that you want to use the docks with, but we also want to enable you to train your own operators. So as you scale, our goal is to enable you as an organization to train yourself and continue to grow without having to always rely on Skydio direct support. But of course, we're happy to do direct training whenever you want it.
Yeah, I just added that. I think that small incremental progress is really important here. The concept of dock drones is super exciting. It's been out there for a while. People have been talking about it. But if we're doing it right, we're using docks to probably fundamentally change some business process, to collect data in a new way, to do things more efficiently. And the technology to enable that, as you saw in what we showed you today, is complex, but it's also complex organizationally. So we really want to focus when we work with customers on the small initial wins. Like, let's get one dock in a high value location, connecting useful data. Let's get it hooked into the right business processes and systems. And let's make sure that that's really working. And then we can incrementally expand around that. And we've had a lot of success doing that. And that's really how we're approaching it. I think that taking those incremental steps in an intentional way is what sets everybody up for long-term success. What are the regulatory implications of Skydio docked operations? Great question. So anytime we're talking about drones, and especially docked drones, regulation is front and center. This is honestly one of my favorite topics. So we decided as a company a few years ago that if we really wanted to realize the potential of autonomous docked drones, regulation and policy really had to be a first-class competency for the company. So this is an area where we've invested heavily. Our team is incredibly strong. You heard from Jen Player earlier today. She's one of the foremost experts in the space. She's been doing this for years. So we have a lot of in-house expertise. The other thing that I'd say is from a macro standpoint, I'm kind of the eternal optimist when it comes to drone regulations. 8-9 years ago, people were afraid that regulations weren't going to permit commercial use at all. That's not what's happened. Initially, there were exemptions for commercial use, then Part 107 opened up. And we're very optimistic about the trajectory that we see here. So the basic framework for regulations today is that by default, you are required to have, in the US, you are required to have an operator with line of sight to the drone under Part 107. But we're seeing more and more exemptions to that. We've been successful in working with our customers to get a number of waivers for beyond visual line of sight flight of different flavors, depending on the operational paradigm. One of the things that we're really leaning into, where we're seeing a lot of success, is what's called infrastructure masking, where when the drone is flying low to the ground and close to the structure that it's inspecting, you can heavily mitigate what the FAA thinks of as the air risk, because it's flying in airspace that's extremely unlikely to be occupied by a crewed aircraft. So the details always matter. Different environments are different customers have different requirements, and that's why we're so committed as a company to having the expertise on our side to both inform what we do internally, but also to be able to be a close partner to you in figuring out the right operational paradigm and in figuring out a regulatory path forward. So, we approach these things from a safety first standpoint. We want to do everything we can to ensure the safety and integrity of the system, the safety and integrity of the airspace that the drone is operating in. We also approach it from a creative standpoint and looking to find ways where we can meet the business objective within the existing exemptions that are available, and we're seeing more and more progress on that front. Who manages all the installations and maintenance of the docks? Another great question, and I think this is another good one for Alden.
Sure. So today, Skydio manages all the installation of the docks. And to dig into that a little bit, a combination of the solutions engineering and technical account management teams will be on site with you. We're really interested in working with your IT teams, your networking teams, understanding the connectivity story at your site. If you have cellular or satellite type connections, we're going to talk to you about that. And ultimately, by the time we leave, we want you to be fully operational for the mission sets that we talked about as we were learning about your program during the early access sort of questionnaire phase. And then in terms of maintenance, this is going to be a bit of a collaborative effort between both teams, depending on your duty cycles, how often you're going to fly, where you're going to go. The details are going to change a little bit on how that works. And so working together so that we fully inform you and arm you with all the details you need to plan for that, as well as helping where we need to when we talk about consumables of the drone itself versus the maintenance of the dock. All that stuff is laid out early on, especially in the crawl phases where we really start to understand that in detail. And then as we move into the walk and run phase, we'll learn more and be able to support you in the way that you need.
Yeah, I just add to that, this is an area where we take partnership very seriously. We're obviously committed to building the hardware and the software and all the products and technology to make this stuff work. But we don't just stop there. We've invested in the regulatory side of things. We're investing heavily in the customer success, customer support side of things. So every situation is going to be a little bit different, but Alden and his team are set up to really go as deep as needed to understand what it's going to take to deploy, maintain these systems over time, and we'll work with you to make that happen. I think I actually skipped over a question here. What are the connectivity requirements for dock and remote ops? This would be a great one you've spent quite a bit of time on, Ryan.
Yeah, and actually kind of piggybacking off of what Alden was talking about, this is very relevant as we engage with customers early on, understanding kind of what is the environment. We're seeing a wide variety of different environments that folks are wanting to install on, and connectivity is such a huge and critical part of this system. So we spend a lot of time thinking about that, working with customers, understanding what the constraints are going to be, and working together on coming up with solutions. In terms of the solution itself, we have a couple of different options right now to support our customers in our deployments. First is based on infrastructure Wi-Fi. So the Wi-Fi that you have available in your environment already, we can use to operate our drones on, and that's particularly interesting indoors as well. So when you talk about dock light, being able to get up and run quickly on the infrastructure you already have and be able to operate like that is very powerful and quick. That can also expand to outdoor cases, in some industrial use cases as well, where there's already infrastructure in place. We do know that there's a lot of situations where there's that are more remote and there's not connectivity already there, and so we're thinking a lot about how that integrates with our solution. So to that end, we also have point-to-point solutions where we can connect our drones directly to the dock and operate without local infrastructure available, and then bring in things like cellular or satellite connectivity for the backhaul and enable these types of remote scenarios. So those are the types of things that we're working on. We'll look forward to working with you and understanding what your options and constraints are and finding solutions for you.
I think maybe just to add one other thing too, when we're talking about installation, like today we're already working with customers' security and IT teams. So part of this when you're working in a large organization, as we all know, is if we have to whitelist certain IPs, if we have to make security folks feel comfortable and so that they understand our system architecture, all this is part of the support package, and we work hand in hand with you, not only for the folks on the ground who are helping deploy, especially in the crawl phase, but your broader organization to help you communicate and have the best tools to communicate to your broader organization.
I think it's an excellent point. Our security team will come in and work with your team hand in hand in understanding exactly what requirements we have, work with your IT teams to enable that and make everybody confident and comfortable with the solution.
The thinking about infrastructure Wi-Fi actually reminded me of a very important point from a regulatory standpoint. So in most indoor environments that we've encountered, there's really good infrastructure Wi-Fi to rely on from a connectivity standpoint. The other nice thing about indoor environments is that you're unconstrained by regulations, at least in the US. And that's one of the reasons why we're excited to be deploying quite a bit indoors and seeing more and more value that can be created by doing these autonomous repeated missions for data collection, for security patrols, and things like that. Let's see. What happens to the data captured by the drone after it lands? Yeah, this is your domain, Ryan.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. So the entire, as you saw, the entire Skydio remote ops system is backed by the Skydio cloud. And so when our systems run missions, they land in the dock and then seamlessly will upload data into our cloud and make them available through our user interface or through our system APIs. And this is an entirely seamless and automatic process that you don't have to worry about. So no manual shuttling of data around, no removing SD cards, and it makes this process very easy so you can get that data kind of the places that you need to make decisions quickly.
Yeah. One other point that I make on this is that well, not all, but a lot of the technology that you're seeing come to life with the dock and remote ops solution is building on stuff that we've been working on for years, even independent of dock and remote ops. For example, Skydio Cloud exists outside the context of dock, so all the systems and processes for uploading data, visualizing it, all that stuff is existing infrastructure that we're now refining and honing towards dock use cases.
I think also working with customers' security and IT teams, we had to learn how to do that, provide all the documentation, understand what people were concerned about so we could alleviate those concerns. All that came when we were learning how to deploy Media Sync.
Yeah. Does Skydio dock and remote ops work at night? What technology do you need to be successful in dark environments? Yeah, great question. There's a lot of activity and interest around night flight. So the current capability that we have today is daytime only, but the hardware is night capable. So you saw in the video that we have LED lights to light up the top of the dock, to light up the landing pad, And X2 is also a night-capable drone. It doesn't have the same visual navigation at night, but it's capable of flying based on GPS. So night operation is something that we're very, very interested in. We're doing a lot of the foundational software work on now, and we anticipate shipping that as a future software capability over time. How precisely can the drone avoid obstacles? Can it navigate small spaces like the indoor ones you were talking about? So it definitely can. I mean, all the footage that you saw in the video is the drone actually flying around. And it's really remarkably capable. So our drones have cameras that see everything in every direction. They're using that information to constantly build a real-time 3D understanding of the environment around them. I think there were some snippets of this in the videos that we were showing, but in our indoor test warehouse environment, we have doorways, we have obstacles that we've constructed to really stress the system. And with the reduced obstacle modes that you can enable with our enterprise software and in dock and remote ops through the cloud, the drone is capable of flying through a standard size doorway. So pretty darn confined spaces with Skydio 2 indoors. How does the dock and remote op system handle weather? Do the hardware and software work together against the elements? Yeah, I don't know, you want to speak to this, Ryan?
Yeah, I can talk a little bit about how we, I think one of the most important things that we do is testing, and the level of testing that we do to ensure the reliability of the system, both indoors and outdoors. So we have a massive testing ability, automated testing ability through a warehouse that we have docks running 24/7. Our missions, and we have that running indoors, and then we also run that outdoors, and we're able to then use that to really validate our performance against a variety of different weather conditions. In particular, in the outdoor environment, we have a synthetic testing environment where we can generate various wind conditions during landing, and the design of our hardware and the way that we've designed the cradle to support landing, and then the software systems that have been tuned to operate in those different conditions work together to ensure a very reliable operation.
Yeah. More great questions coming in. Can a dock work from a moving land-based or maritime platform? So the answer to this is not yet, but we think it's super cool, and we have a lot of interest in this, and it's definitely something that we're thinking about and working on. You know, we have a lot of the technology building blocks in play to enable this kind of thing. So for example, Scout mode, which we released with our latest software update, enables the drone to autonomously follow from long distances or close in, moving vehicles. You can certainly imagine that kind of capability being a relevant building block to have the drone then be able to autonomously return to and land on a moving vehicle. So it's definitely something that we're thinking about. Our initial deployments are going to be static, but we're very interested in over time enabling these kinds of moving operations. And that was one of the motivations for trying to get down to the smallest possible form factor for the dock. You know, our vision for these things really is that they should be ubiquitous. You know, we should be able to install docks to get drones anywhere they could be useful, anytime, anywhere. And it's definitely become clear based on customer feedback that moving vehicles are a pretty big part of the future picture there. So it's something that's very much on our radar. Can a drone take off from one dock and land in another? This is just a software. I'm just going to. So that's not a capability that we have today, but I'm just going to tell Ryan that he has to figure out how to make it work.
Not yet is the answer.
Not yet is the answer. So these things, the way you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but the way the system is architected basically is that these things all connect, like within your organization in our cloud, the docks and the drones all connect to that organization. We have the location of each of them. So it's basically like within our cloud capability if we wanted to be able to dispatch. And this is something that we're thinking about. We haven't enabled yet, but is within the range of the hardware and the software frameworks that we have.
I think you're exactly right. In the future of this is going to be more coordinated operations across different docks and different drones. So you can imagine kind of a large fleet of docked drones and be able to coordinate really complex missions across those that we can enable through this connected system that we have. So that is definitely the direction that we're going to be heading per your direction.
I should have just said we already had it and the team could bang it out tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be a really fun project to work on, and that's something we can absolutely do with our system.
Cool. Another great software question here. How open will you guys be in terms of software customization, or will the Skydio remote ops tool be comprehensive enough? You want to speak to that?
Yeah, I think this is an excellent and very important question. So we've very explicitly built our system based on APIs so that we can enable integrations across all of our different partners. We've seen through our current early access partners that almost everyone is using the APIs in some way to add value to their operations. I think this is going to be a very, very key thing for us for individual enterprises to be able to integrate their data into their workflows. It's going to be important for us to integrate with other partners in the ecosystem. And so we're going to continue investing in that as we go. And that's going to be something that we're going to be looking at in the entire life cycle of mission management and planning. So being able to kick off missions through our APIs, being able to monitor them in real time, being able to get data in real time about the missions while they're operating, and then being able to retrieve the data programmatically.
Yeah, I just add to that. So, we're investing very heavily in the common patterns that we see delivering the most value for the customers that we're working with and that we've heard from. But it's also clear that there's just so much detail for specific customers for particular kinds of applications. So we have a huge commitment to the API. This is, from a platform standpoint, that's really where we're investing the most. So the kind of philosophical goal is, over the long term, anything you can do directly in our UI, you would also be able to do through an API call. And our goal with that is really to put customers in a position where they can seamlessly integrate this as much as needed, and third parties can as well if they want to build solutions that use Skydio docks and Skydio drones as a data collection mechanism.
Also important after the data collection, right? So
yeah.
like once triggering the mission or piloting the mission through API, all important, but also super important. We know we want to get data into your core systems of record. You might want to manipulate it with or analyze it in different ways, and so APIs are critical in that data pipeline and that workflow. And ultimately for scheduled or automated missions, we know that the whole thing should be automated. That's where the real value is for you, and so APIs are critical in getting that into that pipeline.
All right, I think we've got time for one more question here. What are some of the main challenges you faced when creating Dock? And then what are the ways that it will improve going forward? So I would say that in general, there's a lot of different pieces coming together to make this system work. And you can look at things like the landing system. There's a lot going on there with computer vision to detect the dock, figure out the right motion plan to come in and land. So there's a lot of work that's gone into subcomponents like that. I would say that the biggest overall challenge and most of the significant challenges we've addressed are in the integration of the whole system, having the dock hardware, the software running on the dock, the drone hardware, the software running on the drone, the cloud software, all working together seamlessly. And each of those has their own bits of complexity, and making them all work really well together is difficult. But I would also say that I think that's really one of the advantages and the unique things that we bring to bear here, is that we've been working on a lot of the pieces of this, like autonomous drones, for years now. And because we're doing the hardware and the software ourselves, we have an ability to ensure the end-to-end integrity of that system. We test and validate it all ourselves. If anything is wrong from a hardware software standpoint, because we're doing it all ourselves, we have the ability to tweak it and figure it out, and ultimately get to the capability that we need. In terms of stuff that we see improving over time, we've addressed some of these in questions that folks have asked about. The overall thing that I would say is that when we're designing the hardware, we're really trying to unlock as much sort of fundamental software capability as possible. And then over time, our products continue to get better through software updates. That's something we've been doing with our drones for years. So every few months, we're shipping a new software update that fixes bugs, introduces new capabilities, sometimes introduces whole new products. For example, 3D scan shipped to existing Skydio 2 hardware, and it was developed after we shipped our first Skydio 2s. This is a fundamental new capability. And we think about Docs in the same way. It's really a canvas for all kinds of software capability to capture more data in more interesting ways and deliver more value for customers. And I think that's what you're going to see a lot of from us. You know, you can see some of the building blocks that we've got in AI, computer vision, machine learning. All those things are just going to keep up-leveling and delivering more and more value, more and more capability to the hardware that's out there in the field, and also opening up more and more use cases. I think that's all the time that we have. We didn't get to all the questions, but we'll continue to work through them and try to reply to all of them over writing or from our team internally. Before we sign off here, I want to say a huge thanks and congratulations to the Skydio team that built the product and made this event possible. It's been a huge amount of work across the company. We really love this stuff, and for us, as I said before, the most exciting part, most fun part, is seeing the products come to life in customer hands. We're already seeing a lot of that with this stuff, and we're excited to see more. So thank you again for joining us, and I hope to see you out there in the field with Doc drones doing useful stuff for you and your organization.